Subscribe to our channel and click on the bell button to receive important financial updates faster than anybody else.
Friends, welcome to another video on your channel Profit in Equities. If you like our content, please don't forget to hit the like button. Also subscribe to our channel, click on the bell button and choose all notifications to receive important financial updates from our channel at the earliest. In this video, we'll be talking about 10 stocks from the portfolio of Shyam Sekhar for the year 2018. Please watch this video to know more. Now the first stock on the list is Agrow Limited, which is available at Rs 608.45 and the face value for it is 10. The symbol for it is ACRYSIL. Now Agrow Limited is a holding company that is engaged in the business of manufacturing quartz kitchen sinks. The company's products include granite sinks, stainless steel sinks, food waste disposer and faucets. Now, as is evident from the 1-year chart, the company was on a slow uptrend for the first few months of the year, but since then has had a choppy ride. The market cap of the company is 315.72 crores, which means that the company is a small cap one. The EPS of 15.91 translates into a price to earnings ratio of 38.24, which is much higher when compared with the industry PE of 20.52. The price to book ratio also is at a not so cheap number of 3.01. The company has a dividend yield of 0.82%, whereas the promoter holding is also below average at 42.42%. Now the second stock on the list is Adolphe OnTake Limited, which is available at Rs 130 and the face value for it is 2. The symbol for it is ADORFO. Now Adolphe OnTake Limited is an India-based company which focuses on consumables, equipment automation, ancillaries and services. The company's segments include products and other services. Its geographical segments include India and the rest of the world. Now, as is evident from the 1-year chart, the company had a spike a few months into the year, then went on a downtrend, but of late it is again rising. The market cap of the company is 227.50 crores, which means that the company is a small cap. The EPS of 8.05 translates into a price to earnings ratio of 16.15, which is much cheaper when compared with the industry PE of 24.98. The book value of 59.46 also translates into a reasonable price to book ratio of 2.19. The company does not pay out any dividends and the promoter holding is a bit low and stands at a below average figure of 36.64%. The third stock on the list is Agro Limited, which is available at Rs 115.10 and the face value for it is 10. The symbol for it is ARIES. Now, Agro Limited is engaged in the business of manufacturing micronutrients and other nutritional products for plants and animals. Now, as is evident from the 1-year chart, the company had a spike about a month or so in the year, but since then has been on a steady decline. The market cap of the company is 149.68 crores, which means that the company is a borderline stock between a small cap and a micro cap. The EPS of 11.90 translates into a price to earnings ratio of 9.67, which is much cheaper when compared with the industry PE of 39.57. The book value of 112.42 also translates into a very cheap price to book ratio of 1.02. The company has a dividend yield of 2%, whereas the promoter holding is slightly above average at 52.66%. Now the next stock on the list is Electro Castings Limited, which is available at Rs 19.80 and the face value for it is 1. The symbol for it is ELECTCAST. Now Electro Castings Limited is a pipeline solution provider. The company is engaged in the business of manufacturing ductile iron pipes, ductile iron fittings and cast iron pipes. As is evident from the 1-year chart, the company was on an uptrend for the first few months of the year, but since then has been on a continuous decline. The market cap of the company is 802.85 crores, which means that the company is a small cap one. The company is not yet profitable and hence the earnings per share and the price to earnings ratio are not applicable here. The book value of 71.44 translates into a very cheap price to book ratio of 0.28. The company has a dividend yield of 1.52%, whereas the promoter holding is above average and stands at a figure of 53.02%. Now the next stock on the list is MB Industries Limited, which is available at Rs 134.15 and the face value for it is 10. The symbol for it is EMMPI. Now MB Industries Limited is engaged in the business of manufacturing and trading of plastic products. The company's manufacturing facility is located at Silvassa in Gujarat. Now, as is evident from the 1 year chart, that after the first few months of the year when the stock was consolidating, this stock has been on a continuous downtrend. The market cap of the company is 237.31 crores, which means that the company is a small cap one. The EPS of 8.91 translates into a price to earnings ratio of 15.06, which is much cheaper when compared with the industry PE of 24.98. The book value of 55.53 also translates into a reasonable price to book ratio of 2.42. The company has a dividend yield of 0.37%, whereas the promoter holding is 57.78%. Now the next stock on the list is IVP Limited, which is available at rupees 154.85 and the face value for it is 10. The symbol for it is IVP. Now IVP Limited is engaged in the business of manufacturing of foundry chemicals. The company operates across approximately 2 market sectors of the foundry chemicals industry. As is evident from the 1 year chart, the company has not had a clearly identifiable pattern and has been choppy throughout the entire year. The market cap of the company is 159.90 crores, which means that the company is a borderline stock between a small cap and a micro cap. The EPS of 8.12 translates into a price to earnings ratio of 19.07, which is a bit more expensive when compared with the industry PE of 15.79. The book value of 78.52 translates into a reasonable price to book ratio of 1.97. The company has a dividend yield of 1.29%, whereas the promoter holding is a very strong factor for this stock and stands at a figure of 70.86%. Now the next stock on the list is Giant Agro Organics Limited, which is available at rupees 252.90 and the face value for it is 5. The symbol for it is JAYAGROGN. Now Giant Agro Organics Limited is an oleochemical company which focuses on the castor-based specialty chemicals industry. The company is engaged in organic chemicals businesses. Now, as is evident from the 1 year chart, the company has been on a clear downtrend for the entire year. The market cap of the company is 758.70 crores, which means that the company is again a small cap one. The EPS of 13.73 translates into a very cheap price to earnings ratio of 18.42 when compared with the industry PE of 42.09. The book value of 90.08 also translates into a reasonable price to book ratio of 2.81. The dividend yield percent is 1.32%, whereas the promoter holding is a strong factor for this stock and stands at a figure of 65.76%. The 52-week high is 495.20, whereas the 52-week low for the stock stands at 210.00. Now the next stock on the list is Link Pen and Plastics Limited, which is available at rupees 354 and the face value for it is 10. The symbol for it is LINCPEN. Now Link Pen and Plastics Limited is engaged in the manufacture and marketing of writing instruments and stationeries. Now, as is evident from the 1 year chart, the company was on a parabolic rise for the first few months of the year, but since then has been on a steep decline. However, in the last few weeks, the stock again has been trying to break out. The market cap of the company is 523.42 crores, which means that the company is again a small cap one. The EPS of 6.05 translates into a price to earnings ratio of 58.51, which is very expensive when compared with the industry PE of 13.35. The book value of 81.68 also translates into an expensive price to book ratio of 4.33. The company has a dividend yield of 0.42%, whereas the promoter holding for this stock stands at an above average figure of 59.29%. The 52-week high is 532.50, whereas the 52-week low for the stock stands at a figure of 220. The next stock on the list is Sarla Performance Fibres Limited, which is available at rupees 38.60 and the face value for it is 1. The symbol for it is SARLAPOLY. Now Sarla Performance Fibres Limited is an India-based company which is engaged in the manufacturing of yarn. The company is an exporter of regular as well as high tenacity polyester and nylon yarns. The company has 2 segments, which are manufacturing of yarn and generation of wind power. Now, as is evident from the 1 year chart, the company was on an uptrend for the first few months of the year, but since then has been on a steep decline. The market cap of 322.32 crores indicates that this company is a small cap one. The EPS of 4.25 translates into a price to earnings ratio of 9.08, which is much cheaper when compared with the industry PE of 52.67. The book value of 35.54 also translates into a reasonable price to book ratio of 1.09. The company has a debt to equity of 0.8572, whereas the return on equity for this stock stands at a figure of 0.0904. Another strong factor for this company is the high dividend yield at 2.85%. The promoter holding is also above average at 55.51%. The 52-week high is 82.55, whereas the 52-week low for the stock stands at a figure of 33.25. Now the final stock on the list is Singer India Limited, which is available at rupees 43.35 and the face value for it is 2. The symbol for it is SINGER. Now Singer India Limited is engaged in the manufacture of sewing machines, sewing machine heads and sewing machine needles. Now, as is evident from the 1-year chart, the company was flat during the initial few months of the year, but since then has been on somewhat of a decline. The market cap of the company is 232.86 crores, which means that the company is a small cap one. The EPS of 1.67 translates into a price to earnings ratio of 25.96, which is slightly below the industry PE of 30.32. The book value of 10.65 translates into a price to book ratio of 4.07, which is not very cheap. The dividend yield is 1.73%, whereas the promoter holding for this stock is an above average figure and stands at 60.81%. The 52-week high is 66, whereas the 52-week low for the stock stands at a figure of 37.50. Now friends, please don't consider this to be a recommendation on our part. Please go ahead and do your own research. This and all other content that you see on our channel is intended to be a piece of news. Finally, this is not our own research. This was published on one of the best Indian financial blogs, and we'll be providing the link to that article in the description section. Thanks for watching, and if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so.